So we're going to try to accomplish a few things today. And again, I want to say, just for the sake of video, I will ask for questions, but if you could refrain from just speaking out or saving your questions until I ask for them, just for the sake of the video, so that we can keep that kind of smooth flowing process. I don't really want to be up here, yapping like I did last week, because I listened to the video again, but I also want to get the video, correct, and when there's people other than me speaking, since I have the mic on, it's hard to pick that up on video. So, but we will take time for questions. I'll make sure your questions are answered. So if you have a question throughout the process, write it down. We're going to go through several good things, super important things, a little more in depth as far as some of our advanced things for volleyball officiating. I'm going to spend the first few minutes, maybe 30 minutes or less, I'm not sure, talking primarily, and we'll use the whiteboard a little bit, and then I'm going to let the majority of the rest of the meeting will be on video, okay? Which I will interject at times on the video, but for the most part, we're just going to kind of watch the video, and thank you. We're going to watch the video and make sure that everyone's following along with that, okay? So, so before we do that, though, one thing from last week, since we didn't really go into detail on this, thank you, Lizzie, for bringing this stuff in. Your necessary equipment, these are the flags, obviously. Most schools will have the flags, okay? Most schools should have these flags. But you should have your own set and carry them with you just in case, as a good practice. If you don't have them, that's fine, and the school doesn't have them, that's okay too. You can instruct your line judges to use the hand signals as a last resort. Okay, that's not preferred, but it's okay. All right, especially if you're a new official, flags are not cheap. None of this stuff is really cheap, so you have to invest some money to do this. Okay. You have a yellow and a red card, which you will need, okay? Red card, yellow card. Lizzie has them in a pouch here, one on each side, and then you can put a lineup card in here if you'd like. Lineup cards are no longer required. Not that I've ever used a lineup card, but especially if you work as an R2, at one time they were required, okay? And this is, no, okay. Where is your, okay, here's your pump, right? Or your gauge. Gauge and pump. All right, so this is a ball gauge and a ball pump. Now this is probably fairly expensive too. You can buy them separately. They're a little cheaper. You can get a, what's up, Calvin? Hey, grab a rule book and each one of those papers over there if you don't already have them, okay? Each one separately will be a little cheaper. How much should this cost, Lizzie? Like $45 or $50? Probably? Pretty expensive, okay? But it does the trick for everything, okay? And that has a needle in it as well, I'm assuming. And your net chain is also in here, okay? Yes. So the net chain you hook at the top of the net. And this is going to be a common problem. You're going to have to unhook, okay? Or you're going to have to unravel the net chain because there's really no way to, keep it unraveled.
That's why I get there 10 minutes early.
You get there 10 minutes early, yep. Okay, so it's unraveled. You put it up at the top of the net chain. And at the bottom, you'll see there are several red marks, okay, red, whatever you call them, okay? There's 4 actually, okay? So I couldn't tell you off the top of my head which one's which, but I know when I put it on the net, okay? Because your women's net, which is where you're going to be 90% of the time, is going to be, which one? Someone tell me, which one is it going to be? Do you remember which mark it is? Second. The second mark? Second mark, okay? For the women's, and the men's is that one. The other 2 marks are probably for like junior or something like that. I have no idea. We don't use those. Or yeah, just real young kids, okay? But you'll be able to tell. This just gives you an idea. So when you hang this up on the net, okay, oops, not on your glasses, which are magnetic. You hang it up on the net, okay? If it's close, you're going to want to measure on, so you'll want to measure on the left side, the middle, and the right side, okay? You want to measure on all 3 sides. The middle is the most important part Generally speaking, if you can get the middle as close to that mark as possible, that's good. A lot of nets are going to sag in the middle. If they're older, okay, and you might have, you might be higher on each end, which is okay if you have to. If you can get it even all the way across, obviously that's ideal, but sometimes that's hard to do, okay? So try to get the middle at the right height and the sides as close as possible. Just remember, if they're lower or higher, on both sides, then both teams have to play with that same thing. So there's really no advantage or disadvantage. It's not ideal, but it's okay. All right? So that's what you would do with that. All right. So that's pretty much it on your equipment.
I do have a coin.
Oh, and there's a coin too, which, you guys know what a coin is. I don't need to show you what that is, okay? Coin to use for flipping, okay? Any questions on that before we move on?
Tim, I worked a match last year, the down ref. He didn't bring a coin.
Okay.
He does rock, paper, scissors
Oh, that's great.
and I'm like,
Okay, well, I mean, it's not ideal, but you need to have a coin. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I've used odd or even behind my back before, so
I told him, he said, come ask me. to borrow
yeah,
my
sure.
Didn't look good.
Down referee R2 is the correct terminology on that, just so you know. And we're gonna see some of that on our video and stuff too. Another thing to consider as we're going through all this is, again, 95% of your matches you are by yourself. Okay, we are by ourselves. You will have 5% of the matches that I assign have a second official. Okay, most of you in this room will not work as a second official. There will be a few of you that will, but most will not. Okay, because I just don't have the matches to do that. So some of this information, and I'll reiterate it as we go through it, but some of this information is specifically for R1 and R2, like both when they're both working a match together, okay? As an R1 only, you're responsible for all of it, okay? So we're going to talk about the net, we're going to talk about back row play, we're going to talk about the serving side, the receiving side, we're going to talk about all that kind of stuff tonight. And as an R1, if you're by yourself, you're the responsible for all of it, okay? That's why if you're new, you start at the middle school level, and it's much easier to work at that level. It's a little slower paced and not as much going on, not as much above the net play, all those kinds of things, okay? All right, so keep that in mind. All right, so what we're gonna try to accomplish tonight, there's three main things we're gonna try to get through, okay? And that is, I got to stop saying okay. I say okay way too much when I watched the video last week. You guys help me with that. Just give me verbal cues, not verbal cues, like just, give me a thumbs down when I do that. Something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, do that. There you go. Okay, good. So we're going to, I just said it again. Okay. There we go. Okay, good. I got to stop saying okay. All right. Ball handling, we're going to talk about ball handling. We're going to talk about alignment. We're going to talk about back row play, and then we're going to finish with bench decorum, player decorum, coach conduct, stuff like that, cards, unnecessary delays, all that kind of stuff, okay? Scott Arbina is going to do that last little section for us at the very end. We're going to start with ball handling. Now, we're going to do the video now, and then we're going to come back to the board for alignment. So we're going to start the video for ball handling, and we're going to spend, probably 20 to 30 minutes on ball handling here, and then we'll come to the board and talk a little bit about alignment, and then we'll watch a video on alignment, okay? Now, we're going to spend the majority of the time basically watching video, looking at the boards for specific alignment type stuff, and I'm going to interact with you through the video. Most of it is self-explanatory, but there are going to be some things that I may not necessarily agree with. You guys might not agree with either. It's NFHS, so 99% of it is good, but there's a couple things, especially on ball handling, that I don't really like. So, okay, but we're going to just start there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the introduction, okay? And I will ask questions after each, or I will explain something or ask questions after each, or ask for questions after each one here, okay? And we'll try to go as quickly as possible. All right, I got to put this back up. Oh, we need the lights off too. Okay, sorry. Oop, okay. Can everyone hear that?
No.
It's as loud as it can go. I'm sorry. You're gonna have. I tried to get the volume to go higher. It's not wanting to go any higher, so we're gonna have to really try to be as quiet as we can, and listen attentively, because I've got my computer volume up and I've got the projector volume up. Okay, so I apologize for that. This is as good as it gets. Okay, let me start it again.
Rules governing player contacts, which are dependent upon the sequence of a skill being performed. Normally, a team receives an opponent's serve or attack with a pass or dig, and then a teammate, preferably the setter, follows with a set to a teammate, and then an attack over the net. The opponents defend the attack with a block or dig, and the sequence repeats until one team cannot return the opponent's attack, or when a team commits a fault, resulting in the other team winning the rally and the point.
Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Let's take a look at the specific rules governing ball handling. 1. The block does not count as contact. 2.
Okay, I said that last week. The player goes up to block the ball, they touch it with their hands. You judge it a block, it's not considered a contact. Okay?
A legal contact can be made with any part of the body.
Any part of the body.
3. It must be hit cleanly. And 4. The ball cannot be caught or thrown, cannot visibly come to rest, or involved in prolonged contact.
So they judge that to be prolonged contact. Okay? That's
Slight variation
a tough judgment there, but
in an effort to allow play to continue. Multiple contacts are permitted when the first ball over the net rebounds from one part of the player's body to one or more parts of the body in one attempt to block, or by a player making a team's first contact, as long as the successive contact results in one attempt to play the ball.
everybody understand that. One attempt to play the ball on a receive in the back like that, one attempt to play the ball, that double contact is legal. It's allowed. Okay? On the first ball across. All right? The other place that your double contact is allowed again is on, if they showed it just a second ago, the girl goes to block up here, that's not considered a legal hit, right? So then she can play it with her arm or her foot or whatever, okay? That's legal as well. So first ball across, double contacts are not called. Double contacts are legal.
But there are simultaneous contacts.
Scott?
I have a question on blocks.
Yes.
She goes up like this and the ball hits her in the face, the head.
It's considered a block. So that would be not a legal hit.
Okay.
She would still be able to play the ball.
Okay.
Yep. Okay? Doesn't have to hit the hand if you judge it to be a block. The key there is the ball's above the height of the net. Okay. Simultaneous contacts.
Players going after the same ball, either player can make the next play, as long as the team still has one or two allowable contacts.
So you're not sure which player hit the ball, either one can go get it. That's what that's saying.
In this video, player number 3 clearly
If you are sure, that would be a double.
contacts the ball first by herself, and then contacts the ball again, which is illegal. And this time, number 12 digs the ball alone, and then tries to save the third ball over the net. But it would be whistled illegal as multiple contacts by one player, as it was 2 attempts to play the ball. Multiple contacts are not permitted on a team's second contact or on a team's third contact.
That right there is where we need to get better. I said this last week. Balls across the net, and we're going to go into a little more detail here in a few minutes about this. This is, by the way, this is an old video, so this does not have the updated rule for this year. Second ball that stays on the same side of the net. We'll talk about that, okay? But any second or third ball, does everybody follow what I'm saying, that goes across to the other side that is double contacted must be called doubles. Must be called a double. Okay? That's what that play just was that you just saw.
Ball and legally participate in the next play.
Any questions on that before we continue?
It's called junk.
It's called junk. Yeah, that's junk. We call junk. We call junk a double. Okay.
So that third ball on that clip that you're referring to, that was a double hit?
Yes.
And
You-
Go back.
goes one hand, then another hand.
Hang on. Okay. I'll show it to you right here. Here it comes.
Contacts are not
One,
permitted on a team
2,
heavy contact or on a team
3. Did you see it? I mean, I didn't pause it at the right time, but I probably should have just let it go.
So like
We're not going to keep going back. We'll see more plays like it. Okay, we'll see more plays like it. Just
it hit one hand then the other.
yes. Which again, so here's the thing. Especially as a new official, you have to train your eyes to see this. You're not going to be I don't expect anybody to be perfect. Okay, nobody's perfect, but I don't expect new officials especially or newer officials especially to be able to pick up all of those. Okay, there are some cues that this video says that you shouldn't judge as double contact. I'm not saying you should call double contact on some of these cues, which we'll go over in a minute, okay? But it's a good indication of a potential double, okay? One of them on that play was the spin of the ball, okay? Now, the rule book and this video, which is rule book supported, specifically says you should not judge the spin of the ball. I agree with that. You should judge the actual contact, okay, from the point of contact. However, if you see a ball spinning 100 miles an hour, it goes across the net, you should log it in your mind, maybe not call it if you didn't see it at the point of contact, but log it in your mind as, okay, that was definitely probably a double, okay? And the next time that same player does the same thing and the same result happens, you have it logged now, you can whistle a double. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay? All right. Coach, you can ask questions too if you want, okay? You're not excluded from these questions, so. All right? Okay. All right, moving on here. Techniques to train the eye.
So knowing the rules, how can we train our eyes to prepare for each contact? Referees need to watch both teams in their pre-match warm-up.
Super important to watch the teams during warm-ups, especially the setters.
Lead the ball with your eyes rather than following the ball's path in the air.
All right, so did everybody follow that? So the ball goes up in the air, okay? Instead of you watching the ball with your eyes as it goes up toward the ceiling, okay? Now the only time you would want to do that is if it could potentially go across, hit the ceiling and go across, okay? So it's not that you don't want to know what's going on up there, but if a ball is passed and it has no chance to hit a ceiling or go across or anything like that, okay, you're going to go to the next point of contact. So on the pass, you should know your setter. We're going to get into tracking setters here in a few minutes. You know where your setter is. You know that the setter is going to ideally go for the second ball, and she wants to set it with two-hand overhand action. So you're looking for this point of contact right here. You're not watching the ball. If you watch the ball float and come down, you're going to miss a potential illegal contact, okay? So lead the ball with your eyes. That means go to the next point of contact with your eyes.
Focus on the actual contact with the ball on the body.
There you go.
Then, determine if the ball came to rest, if there was a prolonged contact, or if the ball was caught or thrown. In that case, a first referee's whistle should be immediate. If the contact is legal, the first referee allows play to continue as they pick up the next player and ball contact with their eyes. Refrain from following the ball with your head.
There you go. Everybody understand that? Any questions on that? Okay. All right. We got some questions to ask. Oh man, it's going to show the answer. That's sad. I already answered the question, so I thought it was going to show the question without the answer. Never mind. We'll keep going here.
The interpretation or judgment of the legality of a contact lies with the first referee, but there are some variables that make this difficult for an official.
So just to clarify, first referee, second referee. Again, you're going to be first referee majority of the time, but the second referee, if you are a second referee, you do not make calls on ball handling, period. You can help, you can assist with a leading signal, but you would never blow your whistle on a ball handling call as an R2, okay? Only as an R1 up in the stand.
Skill level of the players, the experience of the first referee, the pressure of the match, the behavior of the coach or coaches, the involvement of the fans.
So there's 5 more of these. These are all good though. These are all things that affect our judgment when we're calling ball handling. Okay? Well, the fans is going to be one of the least ones because usually in volleyball the fans are pretty well behaved. Okay? But these other are important, and then the next list is pretty important too. So your player skill level obviously is going to be a variable that affects your judgment. And what I mean by that is if you're doing a middle school or a sub-varsity match, JV match, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to play call based on their skill level. So if you got a middle school match, you're going to allow for more, if you want to say, illegal contact at that level because they're still learning. Not that you won't call stuff, you'll still call stuff, okay? You will still call obvious prolonged contact carries, that gain an advantage, and obvious doubles that would go across the net, obvious, okay? Anything that's marginal or close, middle school JV, you can pass on, okay? But as you go up in skill level to the varsity level, the skill is going to get better. Then you should call more. Now, I will say this as well. We have a wide range of skill level from our smallest school to our largest school at the varsity level, okay, as those of you that have already officiated know. So even that at the varsity level can play a factor. Your experience plays a factor. Pressure of the match, which if it's a tight match, close game, 2 good teams, obviously, and then coaches' behavior plays a huge factor because the coaches want you to make the call in their favor.
Which contact is being executed, the first call or no call of the match, the angle of the contact, the consistency from.
So these are huge too, okay? Which contact is being executed, whether it's a dig, pass type situation, a set, or an attacking hit, okay? The first call, this is where your consistency and calling it correctly on both sides, being consistent in your calls. If you call the first one, you got to keep calling. If you don't call the first one, allow the next one that's similar to also not be called. We talked about that a little bit last week as well, okay? And of course your angle on plays is sometimes a factor as well.
Contact from set to set and from match to match. External stimuli may influence a referee's decision-making process. Refrain from allowing the following to affect your judgment. Some outside influences could be a player's preliminary body position.
So these are cues, okay? These are what I was talking about just a minute ago that don't necessarily mean that a double is going to happen or that you would call a double, but they help you potentially see that a potential double might be coming or carry, lift, okay? The following things. One is the position of the player, okay? If they're not under the ball, if that setter has to run a long ways to go get that second ball, which is what their goal is, okay, then the odds of that setter making a clean second contact go down, okay? And so you just aware of that. Be aware of these things. Now, this video, and they're correct, says that you should not use them as your determining factor, but I'm not going to lie. I kind of use some of these as my determining factor, okay? So you have to kind of know all these things and see them on the court, see them happen to be able to actually apply them. Okay? So the first one was position. The second one is an unorthodox play on the ball. Okay?
After contact, core technique, spin on a white pinned
There's your spin. Okay, that we already talked about.
colored ball
The sound.
or reaction to a contact from players, coaches, and or spectators.
There's where your coach behavior comes in, okay? Or spectators, but usually it's, a coach. Could be a player too. Your advanced players and a lot of your coaches, that have played the game at a high level expect or know what a double is, what a lift is. Sometimes, to be honest, a lot of times they know better than we do, especially if we haven't played volleyball at a high level, okay?
That hit she just did, if that went up in the air, was that a good hit? That would have been good, right?
Let me go back here. That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That was fine.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
It didn't stay around.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any comments, questions on that? No? Okay. All right. Next thing we're going to go through, and this is going to be, it's good, I think, but it can be a little painful because we're not here to coach players. However, we need to be aware and understand each skill and what to look for when each skill is applied. So we're going to go through passing, setting, attacking, blocking, and digging. Okay, moving on here. Whether you can read fast or not.
So let's look at each skill, starting with the pass. A player may choose to receive a ball with their forearms or with an overhead setting action. Both passing techniques are used to direct a ball to a teammate called the setter, which begins the first of the 3 allowable contacts. If either of these skills, underhand or overhead, is the first team hit, multiple contacts are legal as long
Again, first ball over, multiple contacts are allowed.
as it is a single attempt to play the ball.
Single attempt to play the ball.
A ball can never be caught, thrown, have prolonged contact, or visibly come to rest.
The great thing about this is it's going to have plays for us to watch and judge on too.
Did the ball play the player, or did the player play the ball? Was the ball over controlled, which is illegal, or was the ball under control, which is not illegal? Let's look at some video and answer those questions. In this video, the ball quickly played the player. This contact is legal. And in this video, the players attempt to receive a serve with finger action, but the ball rolls off their fingertips. The ball plays the player, which is not illegal.
It's legal, not yeah.
The ball is under control, which means it is a legal contact, as opposed to a player who over-controls the ball, as seen in this series of sets.
Oops, I'm sorry. I hit next instead of I didn't mean to do that. I apologize.
The ball quickly played the player. Videos. The
Okay,
ball is under
let's.
control,
I meant to pause it.
is a legal contact, as
Did everybody see that
over-controls the ball, as seen in
right here?
set.
Yeah.
See how she brings it down to her stomach basically? That's over control on a set. That would be prolonged contact,
Illegal.
illegal, okay?
Are illegal.
All right, setting is next.
The second skill of a team sequence is a set. The same finger action in an overhead pass is used. Because it is the second team contact, the rules do not allow multiple contacts.
Yeah,
No matter which contact, it is always a ball if the ball is caught or thrown, has prolonged contact, or the ball visibly comes to rest, regardless of the team's first, second, or third contact. The referee must also be aware of the setter that attempts to set the ball over on two. It is a cagey move to catch the opponents off guard. The first video is legal, but the next 3 are illegal.
Did anybody see the difference between the first and second play on that? Did anybody see the difference?
That last one, she kind of pushed it.
I didn't. To be honest, I didn't see the difference. I didn't see much difference. They're saying the first one was legal and the second one was not. What do you think, Coach?
It looked like it stayed a little too long.
A little slower, yeah.
All right, let's see.
She pushed it over.
Why aren't we?
It looked like
Oh, here we go.
she buried it down, yeah.
Okay, that was quick.
I think it's the same.
I-
It's the same
clip.
No, but they literally say one's legal and one's not.
They said
Yeah,
the
'cause
next
they're-
3
yeah, 'cause
are
they're gonna
illegal.
show another
It's the
one.
same clip slowed down.
Yeah. I think the next two will be illegal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Illegal.
No, that one was.
Illegal. Illegal. Illegal.
Why, because she's hitting it twice? You think?
Double count. That was legal. It's close, but that's
The first 2 were legal, but the last one is illegal.
yeah. See, this video's all over the place with some of this stuff. So this is what I'm talking about. Like,
If a pass is low, a player may choose the bump set. Because the bump set is a rebound and performed with the forearms, it is rarely illegal.
yeah. Okay. Attacking hit next.
If a player other than the setter attempts to set the ball, the rules are still the same. The first referee's job is to judge each contact.
So that play across again. I'm gonna say this a bunch. Okay. The play across the net with overhand action. We have to really focus our eyes on that hand contact. Okay. Overhand action. Okay. All right. Focus our eyes on that, and as they try to push it across to the other side of the net, it has to be legal going across. So we have to call it. We have to call doubles on those. Okay. That's where we don't call enough, and that's a point of emphasis.
Skill. A referee should not be harder on the setter or harder on non-setters when judging ball handling.
That's another cue for me. Did everybody hear that? So that's another cue for me. I'm not, again, some of this stuff I don't really like necessarily saying with the coach in the room, but if it's a non-setter versus a setter, like I'm going to allow the setter more leeway than a non-setter on overhand action, okay? Now again, new rule, it stays on the same side of the court, we don't have to call anything. But if a non-setter pushes with overhand action, pushes it across to the other side of the court, man, it's got to come out clean. It's got to be clean, or we got to call it. Okay. I'll allow the setter. Come on in. I don't know who that was, but I thought someone was trying to get in here. I'll allow the setter a little more. That's why when we were showing those, they were showing those setter dumps earlier. Most of those, in my opinion, are okay. Not all of them, but the majority of them were okay. All right.
Designated as a defensive specialist, not a primary setter. In order to prevent this player from taking over the setting position, the rules stipulate that it is illegal for the libero to set the ball using overhead finger action while on or in front of the attack line extended, resulting in a completed attack above the high.
Hang on. Come on in. Are you Solomon? Come on in. Come on in. Come on in, guys.
Appreciate it.
You're late.
Really late.
I'm sorry. I think we're out of chairs. Miss Cordova, is there a way to turn the AC a little cooler in here? Or?
I'm sorry, I don't work here. I'm just a
Oh,
parent. Yeah.
okay. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty warm in here, but okay. All right. I guess we're just gonna have to suffer. Is that okay? Yeah. Thank you. It is after hours, so I understand, but thank you very much.
Tim, I think that
Oops. Okay. Go ahead.
got a little misnomer because there's a lot of programs that have the Avero's primary setter.
Which is,
What they're saying, I know what they're saying there,
yeah, which is crazy to me, but
because there's a lot of the programs that the Avero is the primary setter.
are they the primary or are they the secondary? I think they're more the secondary than the
Well,
primary.
But you,
Like they're basically if
obviously they can only be there in 3 positions.
right.
So that cuts
Well,
that down part of it.
They also have to be behind the attack line when they set.
To say it.
Yeah.
Well, to say it legally.
Well, exactly. And that's what we're about to see here. So, hang on.
Follow the video, watch the libero set her attacker. This was legal because the libero was behind the attack line.
Behind the attack line, okay? That's legal.
This video, the libero
This is
the attack
illegal once the ball crosses to the other side of the net, okay? A libero cannot overhand set in front of the attack line to an attacking hit, third hit, okay? That's a illegal, that's a back row attack signal, okay?
Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be the third hit if it's.
Well, that's correct, that's correct.
But if hers, just remember, if it's touched by another player in between,
Then it's so,
then when it goes over, you've got nothing.
you've got nothing.
Even though overhand or not.
It must completely cross to the other side of the court,
So they
the
can-
net.
They can't do this, but they can do this.
They can do that, yeah, and that'll be on here too. I think they'll show that here in a sec.
top of the net, and it goes in the opponent's court.
That's key. That's where it becomes illegal.
First referee
So what is the signal for that?
the legal
Back row attack.
Blow the whistle, say illegal.
Not on the player that said it?
opposing blocker
No.
starts the attack.
Well, yes, it is, but it's just back row attack.
It is deemed to be a completed attack when the ball completely crosses the net or is touched
That's the key. There, we were talking, but it's not a completed attack, and therefore not illegal until it completely crosses the net.
by the blocker. Although the libero sets inside the attack zone with finger action in this video,
That time the ball's below the height of the net.
net by her team.
Okay, so this is a legal play. Does everybody understand the difference?
No,
The-
see that again?
the-
That's-
Well, just remember, the ball is key. Where the ball is key on back row attacks of any kind, okay? If the ball is completely above the height of the net, then if you have a back row player attacking it in the front zone, that's illegal, okay? Or the libero setting overhand, okay? That's illegal. But if the ball is below, at or below the height of the net, the top of the net,
Like a line drive or something.
yeah, well, did you see what she just did?
I see.
See, first of all, she doesn't jump. Well, let me go back here, sorry.
Although the libero sets inside the attack
She doesn't jump, she just hits, the ball is clearly below the height of the net when she hit it. Huh?
When she hits.
When she hits it.
Hits it. Oh.
Yeah, when the attacking hit goes across, okay? So we judge back row play by the ball being above or below the height of the net. Legal, illegal. Not in every case, but it's always legal if you attack a ball. Any player on the court, front or back row, can attack a ball when the ball is below the height of the net across. It will never be illegal, the attacking hit, unless it's, a lift, okay? But the actual, you see what I'm saying as far as back row, okay? All right, but there are many times when if the ball is above the height of the net completely, okay, that a back row player cannot attack, and if they do, it's illegal, and that's our back row attack signal, okay?
Nor can they block it.
And the block, the same thing, correct, okay? We're getting to blocking.
in this video, the libero chose to use a forearm
So
pass and not
this is what you asked about earlier, Calvin. That's legal, that's fine.
teammate was free to attack the ball.
Above or below the height, it doesn't matter. She can attack it.
When
It's
should
legal.
the referee blow the whistle? Not when the libero sets, not when the attacker contacts the ball, but when the ball has completely crossed the net or a blocker touches the ball. Even if the libero is off the court, but inside the attack zone, the rules
Any luck?
still apply.
No, I sent him a text. Do you want me to leave it open? It's cool in the hall.
Yeah, I guess there's nobody out here, so yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Sorry, this was probably the most important part for you. I have no idea, but are you going to use the libero?
Yes, and that's actually the part I need to see.
Oh,
That's okay.
how wrong? Okay, I can send this to you too.
Okay, then.
This was just talking about the libero in relation to when they're passing the ball, overhand action to an attacking hitter. Okay, if she's in front of the attack line, and the attack takes place with the ball above the height of the net across the other side, that's illegal. If she's behind, it's legal. If the ball is attacked below the height of the net, it's also legal. Is that Does that make sense in a nutshell? Okay. All right, good.
Excuse me, can you run that, okay, that little piece right there back a minute there, I wanna ask you something.
Which one?
Right here, where she went outside the boundary
Okay.
line.
You can go outside the boundary lines once the serve has happened. During live play, once a serve takes place, players can go anywhere, in or out of bounds. Okay? I mean, they can't, well, yes. In theory, they can go anywhere. Okay? All right. So yes, you can go outside the boundary lines. You can go back, side. You can go front zone, back zone, whether you're a front or back row player. Okay.
Can't go under the net.
Can't go under the net. That's correct. Okay. Before the serve, and we're going to talk about this in a few minutes under alignment. But before the serve, you cannot be out of bounds. Everyone must be completely in bounds. Okay.
Off the court, but inside the attack zone, the rule still applies.
That would also be illegal because she's in the front zone. Okay. Even though she's off the court, she's still in the front zone.
Libero cannot attack if at the moment of contact the ball is entirely above the
And this is the last one. So if you judge the ball to be above the height of the net, which this one appears to be, right? Okay? That is illegal once it completely crosses to the other side of the net. That would be a back row attack. Okay? That's your signal. Even though she's behind it, she is the only one restricted from doing that when the ball is above the height of the net. As a back row player. Okay? All right? Yeah. Libero only cannot. Okay? She can do it if the ball's below, but she can't do it if the ball's above.
If she jumps, it's more than likely gonna be illegal.
Correct. More than likely.
Jumping does it.
That's legal.
Also, the libero cannot block or attempt to block.
So that's illegal. That was an attempt to block. Even though she didn't actually hit the she didn't touch it. She came up and attempted to block. That would be an illegal block. Okay?
Whether she blocks it or not, you still call that.
If she gets up there and attempts to block, that's correct.
Yeah. And back row player has to be part of the composite block. The libero, if she attempts anywhere or is part of the composite block, it's always illegal.
Correct. Okay, here's our questions. When the libero is not using finger action, is completely inside the attack zone. When she passes the ball to a teammate, that teammate may attack the ball when it is completely above the height of the net. True or false? True. When the libero is off the court but within the attack zone, the same rules apply as the first one. Calvin, true or false?
True.
True. Okay. And 3, it is legal for the libero to attack a ball that is entirely above the height of the net when the libero is behind the attack line. Solomon, true or false?
True.
False.
Behind the line, you're saying, right?
Behind the line, but the ball's entirely above the height of the net.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. There you go. It's okay. That's all right. All right. This is how we learn. Okay.
Make the call on the location.
Oh, now these are make the call. Okay. So on the location, she's clearly in front of the attack line. So, and we're assuming the attacking hit is across. So 1's illegal. 2's, well, I'm gonna let you decide.
3 was.
1 and 2, 3. Everybody's watching. 4.
3 is clean.
She knew where she
4
was
is
at. 3
clean.
1 foot up.
4 is clean.
Okay, so now we're going to answer those questions. In set 1, the libero is legal or illegal? Illegal. In set 2, the libero is illegal. In set, I don't know why this has 4 and 3 split up. In set 4, the libero is legal, and I answered illegal because they switched it around on me. And whoops, sorry. And in set 3, she was legal as well. Now in set 3, she was very close to the line, and that's a judgment call. If she's on the line, that's considered front zone. Okay, but in the video they determined it to be.
Behind the line. If she's touching it, then she's into the zone.
That's correct.
Okay.
If she's yep. That's why I also answered
But if it's close, she's not.
illegal on that because I thought she was touching the line. But
Can't tell, no call.
that's one of those trick questions. Anyway, all right. All right, good. 1 and 2 are illegal. 3 and 4 are legal. all legal.
Sometimes a tight pass forces a setter
It's a net violation, yep, but we're watching setting right now.
one hand. Look at video of a legal one-hand set.
Okay, now this is where,
Now, look at this series of one-hand sets.
Got a little spin on it.
okay, yeah, but okay.
Tough one.
You guys, come on now. Okay, it's one hand. It's one hand. So the spin definitely doesn't matter on a one hand.
Prolong.
Definitely doesn't. The only time, I mean, the time you're going to see you're looking for potential spin is when she does this, because the ball's going to spin if she does this, right? With two hands. With one hand, that's not a factor.
That's legal, right?
So they're saying the first one was legal and the second two were illegal. In my mind, they were all three the same. I wouldn't have called any of them.
Yeah, me neither.
We're going to see them again, I think.
The next two are not legal.
See, which is crazy to me because it looks exactly like the first one. No, she didn't catch that. I mean, that's all right. Here you go, coach. So you're getting all the different people with different ideas of what their judgment is. I don't think she caught that, to be honest. But I feel like it just kind of popped off her hand. But anyway, so there is going to be some variation on judgment from person to person, obviously.
See, you call that, you gotta call them wrong.
Yeah, and I'm not calling that.
It's gonna be hard.
Sorry.
Keep it blind.
Yeah.
The distance of a one-hand set or a tip does not matter. It is the contact phase that determines the legality. Now you make the call on these sets.
One. Okay, you make the call. Log them. I hate those. I'm not calling any of those, but the video is going to say they're illegal.
The first three sets were illegal, and the last two were legal.
Right, yeah. That's right.
What about from the referee's view? What decisions would you make on these three setters?
All right, what do you think about that one?
It's legal.
Out of bounds.
Athletic.
Out of bounds.
Athletic.
What do you think about that one?
Leeway.
Wait for it. Everyone should be able to call that one. All right, so set one, legal or illegal?
Legal.
Yep. Set two, illegal. Set three, illegal.
Legal.
Okay.
The front clip showed a setter taking a risk and using an unorthodox
Kim, you talked about the setter and the non-setter, but you won't find that athletic verbiage anywhere, but still, yeah.
body position that she could not.
Right. I'm gonna skip over this. We've already gone through this, so we're gonna skip over this part.
The setter also has the option to attack the ball on her team's second contact, which is known as the setter dump. Watch these three setter dumps and determine if they are legal or illegal.
All right. What do you think? First two are legal. Second one, prolonged contact. Or third one, I'm sorry. Flick of the hand, that's fine. Watch this one. Yeah. Okay.
One quadrant to another.
Yep. There you go. That's good. Okay.
If the team successfully executes the first
We got to get through this so we can get into alignment.
attack, sending the ball over the net into the opponent's court. The attacker has an array of shot options: a hard hit, an off-speed roll shot, a wipe off the block, a tip, or a two-handed overhead pass. Regardless of the type of attack, the same rules apply, and the referee needs to stay with each contact. An attacker may choose to tip the ball with one hand in an attempt to
A tip can be tricky.
strategic area on the opponent's court. The tip can be short, or the tip can be deep, as shown in this video. It is legal. Sometimes an attacker's approach and jump are not timed properly with the set. Sometimes the hitter is up too early or up too late. Here is an example of a missed hit due to timing.
Legal.
This contact is a
Just mishit.
and is legal. This is an illegal tip. Disregard
See how she kind of catches it and guides it? Yep. Directed it. Yep. Those can be tricky though.
Here's a video of the different attack options.
It's kind of a roll.
Choose to wipe off the block as seen in this series.
I made that tool.
Compare these
Can we
two
go stand here and
attacks.
take this?
You will see one angle from the sideline, the next from the referee's stand. Which one has prolonged contact and needs to be whistled?
Legal. Legal. Same hit from two different perspectives.
Yeah, she stepped over the line.
Line. Illegal.
You chose the second section as illegal.
Yep. Catch and throw.
Broken play, there is a tendency for a referee to lead the attacker when it appears that they will not jump and attack the ball. But make sure you stay focused on the third contact.
That right there is the play that they showed early. Okay. Going across, second or third overhand action. We got to get better. That's illegal.
It is illegal.
Illegal.
Transition is when a team moves from serve receive to defense. The opponents set up their defensive system, which includes the first line of defense called a block. A team can use a 1, 2, or 3-person block. A blocker may use 1 or 2 hands to block. According to the definition of a block, a player must be close to the net, deflecting the ball coming from the opponent by reaching higher than the top of the net at the moment of contact. It is illegal to block a serve.
Cannot block a serve. Anybody ever seen that?
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Not often, but it happens.
In this video, the middle blocker successfully blocks her opponent's attack.
Stepped over the
A
line.
block does not count as one of the 3 allowable team hits. In this clip, the ball has entered the plane of
That's
play.
called a joust.
Front row players participate
For the
in
what?
joust.
Joust?
Joust.
Even though the ball momentarily comes to a stop,
Simultaneous
it is not
contact.
illegal. The referee allows play to continue as number 12, who lost the joust, was able to legally dig the ball for her team's first contact.
Like a jump in basketball.
A blocker may choose to use a directional block when an opponent is fronting her. In order to avoid a joust or attempt to win the point, the player directionally blocks the ball by sweeping her hands, directing the ball into the opponent's vacant area of the court. And this clip leads us into a discussion about our final skill, the dig.
Sweet.
All right, we're not going to go into the dig. Okay, that's passing basically. So we're done with that. All right. Any final thoughts on ball handling before we transition into alignment?
Tim, most times we're by ourselves, you said.
Yes.
You're watching the play above the net. Who's watching the feet on the line?
You are.
Okay.
Yep.
Better have slack eyes.
Okay, so that was all.
The coaches.
Oh,
Yeah, that was all obviously on ball handling, and the next one we're going to do is alignment. So these are two specific areas where we're trying to improve. But again, as Scott just pointed out, we must be aware of everything else that's going on in the game. Okay, you have the center line, you have the net, a player, any kind of a block where a player comes into the net, or the attacking hit where the player follows through and contacts the net. That's illegal. As a newer official, that's a hard thing. I see a lot of misses from new officials on net play. Okay, once you start seeing play and a lot more of it, your eyes kind of get used to, and you'll be able to pick up net play a lot better. But one thing to consider with the net play is, let's see if I can find a net here. Let's see. Okay, let's see if this shows a net here. No, hang on. Okay, so what you want to do as a referee when you're up on that stand is your eyes need to be going straight down the net. Now you obviously are going to be watching play as it goes from side to side, and you're counting, right? You're counting the hits, the legal hits, and stuff like that. But when the ball comes to the net, on like when the ball is passed to the net and the setter is coming to try to get it and attack it across, or set it, or the attacking player and the blockers on the other side are that light is bad, but are gonna you got play at the net, right? You got players and the ball at the net. Your focus should be straight down that net. You're seeing the players and the ball, and you're looking straight down that net, okay, and then down to the floor. So if you are somewhere else with your eyes, like if you're watching the ball all the time, you're going to miss net plays. So once the player attacks the ball across, do not follow the ball on the attacking hit. Now, why would I say that? Because you want to see if the blocker contacts the net, and you want to see if the attacking player contacts the net on the follow through. Stay at the net until all the players come down to the floor. They're legal on the center line and they're legal off the net. Okay? All right? And then you can go find the ball. Now, it's super easy for us to do, should be super easy for us to do that, because we don't have to judge first contact. Now we do have to judge, carry, lift type situations, but I'd much rather have you miss an illegal or prolonged contact, because you're training your brain, you're training your eyes to focus on the net. Then, does that make sense? I'd rather you miss the illegal contact on the first contact than the net, the obvious net fault, which is missed a lot. Okay? So, and I think most coaches would rather you miss that too. They don't want you to miss anything, but focus on that net. All right? So that's just something about the net and net play, which we're not going into great detail on. Okay, we're going to go into alignment. Let me actually shut this off for a minute and give you just some basic information, then we'll go into this video. Okay? I'm going to turn the light back on for a minute. We're going to use the chalkboard or the whiteboard. Okay? All right. I should have drawn, well, I guess I couldn't have drawn it up because it would have interfered with our video. That's the table, okay? All right. That's the net. You got the attacking lines on each side, okay? All right. Referee stand right here, R1, okay? All right. Now, we're talking about alignment. So we've gone through everything. We're about ready to start the match. Your server, this team over here is going to serve first. So that's position 1, okay? All right. So this first server for serve and receive is always position 1, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the serving side, okay? And here we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? All right, this is the receiving side. All right, so when you check your lineups, this is what you're looking for. Before the match starts, you're down here on the table side, okay? You're checking the lineups. I have a lineup for both home and visitors. I'm going to check the receiving side first. I'm going to make sure my first server is in this position right here as a front right player. Okay, front right. All right. And then I'm going to go around in counterclockwise format. Okay. So I go to position 2, make sure the right numbered player is there. Position 3, position 4, 5, and 6. Obviously, these are the 3 front row players. These are the 3 back row players. Okay. Okay, and then I go to the serving side, and I will confirm that the correct number is first server. And then I go to front 2, 3, and 4. back 5 and 6. Okay, once I check the lineups, and a lot of times you'll have liberos that come in. Okay, you're gonna sweep the libero in, or allow the libero to go in. Many times, I mean, they can only come in the back row. Many times they'll come in this middle position. Not always, but they might come in for that middle back player. Okay, or another back row position. All right, you let them do that, and then you go to the stand. Okay, so now I'm ready to start play. Okay. And the video will go through a lot of this. Okay, but what I want to do before I start play is I want to sweep the court. I've already checked the lineup. Once I've done that, they can pretty much go wherever they want as long as they stay in their alignment. Okay, so this is where it can get tricky, and the video is going to show this. But you're going to see a lot of different formations, serve and receive, mostly receive, to hide weaker players, to hide setters, okay, stuff like that. So you're going to see players that you think are back row players that are in the front row, that you think are front row players that are in the back row. If you don't know how to track those players, you're going to be in big trouble, okay? So, and I'm going to give you a fairly simple formula. It still requires you to mentally engage, but it's a fairly simple formula. Okay. So, but I'm ready to start the match. So I sweep the court. So I've got a line judge over here and a line judge over here. Okay. I go from the receiving side. I go to my line judge here. I make sure all 6 players are on the court. So if a player before the serve has a foot on the sideline, that's considered illegal. Okay? But if I see that before I call for serve, I'm going to address it. That's preventative officiating. Okay? All right? So I'll say, hey, if I see 3 standing on the sideline there, I will say 3 step onto the court. Bob.
The line is a part of the court, so they have to be.
I'm sorry. Yeah, any part of their foot outside of the court. Thank you very much. Okay, so if their back edge of the back edge of their foot is on the outside edge, thank you for that clarification, then they would be illegally aligned. Okay, all right. Thank you for that. All right. So, and I'll just ask 3 to make sure she's completely on the court. Okay. All right. Then I sweep. So I'm sweeping. I make sure they're all good. I check my coach to make sure my coach is in the correct area, coaching the team and not in the attack zone. I look at my table and confirm that they're ready to go. I sweep across and check this coach. I look at the line judge here, and then I make sure all 6 of these players, or 5 players, are on the court and the server is ready to go. Okay? Once that's the case, I will call for the start of play. Now we're going to get into alignment. I just wanted to go through that just for a second so you understood the basics of that. Any questions on that, for the newbies especially?
Tim?
Yes, Bob.
Just for clarification, when the server is out of bounds fixing to serve, she does not have to start off in the serving area. She can be outside of the serving area as long as when she makes contact.
That's correct.
It is legal.
That's correct. She can be here.
Yep.
She can be over here if she wants. Okay? The server can be anywhere. She can even be over here. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay? Back here. Once she makes contact with the ball, she must be within the line, like the sideline. Okay? But she can start outside the sideline in any spot. So, in other words, and thanks for saying that, Bob, because just in case anyone doesn't know this, there is no overlap on the server. So the server can be, like I said, the server can be here. And if she were on the court during live play, or if she were a different player, she would have to be right here, right? Like that, okay? But as the server, she can go anywhere. So she's not in illegal alignment or overlap if she goes on the other side of 5 and 6. Okay, that's the point there. Thank you for that clarification. Okay, any other questions before we go to the video?
I got a question.
Yeah.
Does the server have to serve it overhand, or can they serve it underhand?
No, they can serve underhand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone asked me that.
Most people serve overhand, but every once in a while you got a less skilled player that'll serve underhand.
Okay.
Yep.
You got a foothill, they can also.
Yeah, it depends on where you go. Okay. Any other questions on basic alignment setup? All right, we're going to go to the video. Let me erase this so we can see it fully here. And Mike, can you get the light?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right, good. Okay.
Serve-receive patterns, like the W formation. All 16 members, except the setter, cover the court and are prepared to receive their opponent's serve. Regardless of the offensive system, the setter's ideal offensive delivery position is right front, their home base, where they anticipate the ball being passed to them by a serve-receive teammate. When in system, a setter takes the second ball and delivers a set to one of her attackers. Coaches of more experienced players with advanced skills choose a more sophisticated offensive system based on their team's personnel. A coach may employ a 4-2 system as the most productive for their team because the coach has 2 equal setters, and those athletes are also very good passers. These 2 setters are the quarterbacks of the team. Ideally, the setter in the front row handles every second ball. These setters are opposite each other in the lineup. While one
All right, so I'm gonna stop right there. So the simple formula, which is not so simple once you get out on the court and start watching and looking, but the simple formula is you want to track the setter wherever the setter goes. But what if they have 2 setters, right? Some teams will have 1, and they're going to talk about different offensive systems. It's not super important that you know the offensive systems, but it kind of is because you're gonna be able to tell what the offensive system is based on their setters. Okay, so 1 setter going all the way into all 6 positions. It'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, that's a 6-1, right? Bob? 5-1. Thank you. Sorry, 5-1. Thank you. Okay, and then you have 2 setters who just go into all 6 positions, but they always set out of the front row. That's a 4-2. That's the one we're talking about right now. Okay, and then you have a 6-2, which is 2 setters that always come out of the back row. They always set out of the back row. Okay, those are the 3 main systems, offensive systems. So it's if you have 1 setter and they go everywhere on the court, should be fairly easy to track, right? If you have 2, honestly, it makes it easier because what you want to do is if you have 1, you're going to find the setter and then you're going to find the opposite player of the setter. Those 2 players you want to track. So if you lose your setter and what position she is, you can always go to your opposite player and say, okay, she's in the right back position, or left back, I'm sorry. She's in the left back position, which means my setter is in the front right position. Opposite. Three positions opposite, okay? All right? So based on what you see here, assuming she's in the front right position and they're receiving the ball, someone tell me if they're legally aligned. Calvin, tell me if they're legally aligned. Front right, okay?
Front right.
Middle, front middle. Left front. Right back. Left back, left back, center back, right back. Are they legally aligned?
They look legal.
Right? Okay, so we're going to go into this a little more in detail, but
Because they're on the
she must be closer to that sideline than the center front, right? Okay? And she must be closer to the center line than her back, her right back. So these 2 players are the 2 players that are important for her. She's a setter, so we're tracking her. So I want to make sure that she's to the right of the center front, and I want to make sure that she's in front of the right back, okay? And then I'm going to track this one right here. She's the left back, so I'm going to make sure that she's to the left of the center back, which if you have a libero in there, that makes it easier because they can only be in the back row, okay? If you know she's left back, you only got 1 other position to worry about. If you're tracking your setter, you know that she's right back, so she's got to be center back, right? Okay, see how easy it is? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, all right. So you're going to make sure that she's to the left of the center back and that she's behind the left front, which is this player right here. Those 2 players are in legal alignment. To be honest, that's my biggest concern. Okay, if I've got those 4, I'm pretty sure the other 2 would not, could potentially be out of alignment. But this is where you start. Track your setter, track her opposite.
Now, can that's, in the back left, can she be?
She can.
Back of her? She can be in back of her, or she got to be?
Yeah, she can come all the way up here. I mean,
Okay.
she can be.
She got to be to the right of her, though, right?
She's got to be to the left of this player right here.
No, but I'm talking about.
No, nope. She only has to be behind this player,
just
and
behind.
only by a like
Toe.
a toe. Yeah, a toe. So they can. You're going to see some formations where they're going to be pretty much even.
Oh, but just in back.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the only potential alignment issue we have here is these 2 players, the right front and the center front. Okay, because they're. I mean, and we can't really tell here, but it looks like they're fairly close. As long as she has 1 foot closer to this sideline than her, we're good, which it looks like she does. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So this is a 4-2, which is 2 setters. All right. They always are going to set from the front row. So she's always going to set when she's in the front row. When she rotates into the front, she's going to become the setter and she'll be a defensive player. Okay?
The other is in the front row as the primary setter for 3 rotations. Coaches must also decide the best serve reception pattern for each rotation. A 5-1 offense.
Here's our 5-1. 1 setter.
Setting from the back row in 3 rotations and setting from the front row in the other 3 rotations. A team using a 6-2.
All right, hang on. Sorry. With 5-1, she's the only setter right here, number 2. Okay? What position is she in right now? Lizzie? What position is she in?
Right back.
Right back. Okay? All right. So who's right front? Someone tell me which player is right front. This one right here. Okay? All right. Which one is left front? Here?
No.
This is left front right here. This is I'm sorry. Yeah, this is center front. I apologize. Yeah, my bad. Yep. Center front here. Left front is right here. Look, left front. She's a front row player. Look how far back she is. This is what I'm talking about. So, as the R1, you look at this formation. If you don't know what you're looking for, you're not going to know who's front row or back row, except for this player right here. You know she's in the front row. That's the only one that you're 100% sure if you don't know what you're looking for is in the front row. The rest of these 5 players, you have no idea if they're in the back row or front row, if you're not paying attention. Okay? All right? So front row. And yeah, 2 of them way back there. They're receiving the ball, so what they're doing in this setup is they're hiding the setter. They don't want the setter to dig the first ball because she wants to be up here for the second ball. So if they serve it over in this direction, ideally she's going to take the first ball, okay? All right, or any of these other players can take the first ball as well. They also don't want her to take it because she's probably going to be the one that takes the resulting attacking hit. She's going to get herself ready.
She's front row right there. Right?
She's front row, yeah.
Right.
Center front.
She's probably your hitter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's your hitter. So here's how this is going to play out. The ball's going to serve, probably come to her. She's going to pass it. The setter's going to come up here and set it to her, and she's going to attack it. Okay, that's ideally what the team wants to do. That's why it's important that we kind of know the offensive strategies of these teams because it helps us know where players are and track them.
But another thing here, if a coach is really thinking, she got the girl up there in the middle, they want the other team to think that she's the hitter, but over here.
It might be her.
But
Yeah.
over here, it might be your left front.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Okay. All right. So again, keep that in mind. So that's a 5-1 with 1 setter.
Settlers opposite one another.
And now this is a 6-2, which is 2 setters.
Row for 3 rotations to allow for 3 attackers in the front row at all times.
And again, the 6-2, the setter always comes out of the back row. I love it when they play a 6-2 because I always know the setter's in the back row. Always. The setter's always in the back row. So that helps me. So this alignment is not only important for alignment's sake, but it's important for back row play. Okay? Because if your setter is in the back row, the majority of your back row, illegal back row stuff is going to come from either the setter or a libero. The 90%, okay, especially in a high level match or a higher level match. Now, if you got a school that I mentioned last week that has one player that plays in all 6 positions that's better than everyone else on the team, well, then you just got to watch that one player, because when she's in the back row, if you don't know she's in the back row, she's going to come up to the net and just attack the ball, and you're going to be like, oh, okay, cool, right? Okay. But that's illegal when she's in the back row. So, again, all right, makes sense to everybody? Okay, so two setters coming out of the back row.
A 6-3 is an offense using 3 setters. Position
You very rarely will see this. I'm going to pass that. What happened to our volume? Why don't we have volume here?
It's not playing.
It's not pause.
I mean, I've got it playing here. What happened? Yeah, it's stuck. Probably because I tried to skip ahead, right? All right, that's fine. We're going to keep going here. Hopefully this next one will be. Don't tell me we're going to have this issue now, that it's not going to play.
Pause it, then play it again.
I'm just refreshing it to see if that actually works here. I'm sorry. Here we go. Okay. But we still don't have volume. It didn't play. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not even on the same. Oh, wow. Let's make sure I still have my hotspot on. I do. So it's not the internet. Well, we're almost at 8 o'clock anyway, so we may not get through a lot of this video. Unfortunately.
See, on one tip I can think of when you got here.
Mm-hmm.
With liberos, we want liberos in there selfishly. Why? That gives us only 2 players to track, really. But use your libero to track your other back row players.
Yes, absolutely.
Use that libero to track your other back row players.
Yeah, it's frozen on here, actually. Because this is not where I am. So, all right, if I can't get this thing to... Okay, all right, we're going to shut it off, I think. Wow, it won't even shut off. Okay. All right, okay. All right, sorry. Okay. Little issue there, but okay, you get the basic idea. So I wish that we could have gone through that a little better, because there's a lot of situations where it was going to show us plays and we were going to be able to judge where, legal, illegal, okay? But again, I'll finish the night, I guess, with this simple formula, okay? The goal especially for newer officials, less than, a couple years or 3, 4, 5 years experience is, and listen, it took me a while to get this. And it probably took most of the experienced officials in this room several years to really, really get this, okay? So it's going to take time, but you need to start now. Start now with the mindset of, I got to find my setter 100% of the time. Find my setter and follow my setter as they go around position to a position. And you got to do it for both teams. Okay? So, it can get tricky. And there's, even now, sometimes there's a position, usually it's the transition from the back row to the front row, from left back to left front, where I have the most difficulty picking up the setter. So there's going to be times when you have no clue, like where the setter is. Okay, that's okay. Figure out where if you lose track of the setter, try to find them again. Okay, as soon as you can. Find their position again as soon as you can. All right. Not only for alignment, because to be honest, because we're by ourselves. Okay, alignment can be very difficult for one official to get everything. To be honest, your receiving alignment is more times out of alignment than the serve alignment. The serve alignment is hardly ever out of alignment. Okay, the receiving alignment's out of alignment. But if we're there by ourselves, what are we doing? We're calling for serve, right? So what am I going to do? I got the serve on this side. I'm going to call for serve and just watch over here to make sure they're all staying in alignment. I've done that before, but ideally you don't really want to do that. You're going to call for serve and bring your attention over here. Okay. So what I will do is, before I call for serve, I will mentally check to make sure that I have everybody where they're supposed to be. All right, there's my setter. She's in the back row, left side. Okay, she just served. It makes it easy. So she's left back. Okay, right back. I'm sorry, right back. Okay, and then libero's next. I've got the other back row player and my 3 front rows. Opposite is going to be left front of the setter, right? So I've got my setter, who's number 2, and I've got my opposite, who's number 10 on this side. This side over here, I've got my my setter serving. The setter over here is number 5. Her opposite is number 8. Okay? So I got 5 and 8. Good. She's back row. Both setters are in the back row. So now I call for serve. I observe to make sure they're in the right alignment before I call for serve. And then I don't worry about it. Okay? I call for serve, and if they leave early, unless I already, like if I've seen them do that throughout the match, like if I've seen that setter leave early, in other words, she tries to, and the video shows this, but I can't show you on the video, she tries to sneak from the back position and get in front of the front row player so that she can receive that second ball. Does everybody follow what I'm saying? Okay. Before the serve actually takes place. Okay. Technically that's illegal. That's illegal alignment, because she can't be in front of that player until the ball is served. Okay? So if I see that she's trying to be, sneaky and trying to cheat a little bit and may go a little bit early, I may not say something right away. I may not see it right away, but if I'm seeing that she's close and that she's trying to do that, I'll keep an eye on it throughout the match, and I may have a conversation with her. During like in between sets, if it's not terrible. If it is terrible, then I will call it, okay? Or I may try to prevent it from even happening and kind of make eye contact. So before I call for serve on this side, I see that the setter is getting ready to try to come up before the serve. Okay, she's already tried to do it a few times or done it a few times, and I haven't called it. I will make eye contact with that setter, and I will just say, you need to wait for the serve. This is happening while I'm up here. Now you can't always she might not be, looking at you, but there's a good chance she is, because they're waiting for me to call for the serve. So they can't do anything until I call for the serve. So there's a good chance that some of these players are looking at you. Hopefully that's the case. She's looking. I can say to her, you need to wait. Make sure you wait until the ball is served before you get in front of that player. It's as simple as that. Hopefully that fixes the problem. If she continues to do it, then you call it, right? Okay? Does everybody follow that train of thought? Mm-hmm. All right, good. So I call for serve, and then it's important that the reason I'm tracking setters and opposites is really, for me, it's more for back row play. Yes, alignment's important, but I do not want to allow a back row player to illegally attack the ball. So if a setter's in the back row, so now we have that same scenario. Serve comes from this side. The setter is in the right back, and she's legal when the serve. She's legal. The serve comes across. She now comes up. The ball is passed, and it's tight to the net. The ball is tight to the net. Bad pass, right? Setter has to come up here and try to play that second ball. You're looking for two things primarily. One is any net play by the setter. Okay, if the setter hits the net, obviously it's a net, right? Okay, but more importantly, you're looking to see what that. Well, you're looking for more than two things, but you're looking to see if that player can get to the ball and contact it legally, or can't really get to the ball and has to dump it across. Okay, so if that's the case, like the pass is bad, it's tight to the net and it's above the height of the net, and that setter comes and either tries to dink it across or just puts her hand up and the ball's already crossed the plane, and then as the attacking hitter on the other side hits the ball, it hits her hand. Both of those are illegal. Okay, so the dump across is an illegal attack. The hand up with the ball contacting it is what? Illegal block. Okay, because she's a back row player. Follow me? Okay, in the front zone. Okay. Anybody want to add anything? Bob, David, Steve, the knowledge heads in the room? Scott, sorry.
You'd have a replay on that one.
A replay? No, you would not have a replay.
They were both illegal.
No.
Both situations.
Both situations. Sorry, both the attack and the block were illegal. Yes. Anybody want to, with some knowledge on that, want to add anything?
While we're looking for people like being out of alignment, are we at the same time like supposed to be looking at the server if they commit a line fault, or are we relying on line fault?
Yes. So yes, you have to. Yeah, I didn't even bring that up, but you have to. You should be observing the serve to make sure it's legal. Now, however, I'll have this conversation with the line judge as well. I will share this with the line judges before. Say, look, you're going to give me first crack on all service situations, service faults, whatever. Okay. In other words, I'm going to be looking at it, so I'm going to blow my whistle or choose not to blow my whistle based on what I see. However, if I miss something obvious, this is a conversation I have with the line judge. I want you to flag and point to the line, right? Okay. So yes, if I am, watching a setter that potentially is trying to cheat and get up front early there, then I may rely more on my line judge than normal. Okay. I will still call for serve and still observe the serve, but I'll also be looking over here to make sure that she's legal. Very good question. Anything else? Any other questions? Everybody ready to go? Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We got 5 more minutes with Scott. Scott, come on up for 5 minutes with cards. And we could probably spend a lot more than 5 minutes, but hopefully he'll make it brief.
Okay, I'm Scott from Clemson. Tim's asked me to speak on cards. The good news is we don't give many cards, and especially in church volleyball, even high school volleyball, you don't give many. So it's not something that you have to get too technical about. I've ref for over 30 years. I've never ejected a coach or a player, whereas in basketball you might have 5 or 10 a season. It's a little bit different. Or even a game. Okay, so you got 2 cards, yellow and red. Okay, you can have this size. Some people might have the smaller size. Whatever size you use, you need to make sure that you're visible and also that you're heard with what you say. Okay, we're going to use the cards 2 different ways. Okay, we have a delay and we have a conduct. All right, delay would be what in volleyball?
Not a lot of timeout.
Lots of different things, but
Unnecessary delay.
Not coming out of the huddle.
Okay.
Lineups.
Line up.
water on the floor.
Water on the floor. Usually on that, we're going to give 1 warning, unless it's really bad. But yeah, that happens a couple times a year.
Substitutes
that come in with jewelry, anything like that. Sometimes the ball goes off on their end and nobody goes to get it. You need to tell the captain, your team needs to go get the ball if it continues to be a card. All right. The way you signal for a time delay is you're gonna hold the card where your watch would be. That signifies time, okay?
Book definition is unnecessary delay. Unnecessary, not time delay. Unnecessary delay.
Unnecessary delay, okay?
Okay.
And like Tim said last week, you also want to give it on the side. If it's this team, you're going to give it on this side, okay? We have the blue team, delay coming out of the huddle, all right? First time is just a warning. When they instituted this rule a couple years ago, everybody's like, I got a yellow card, this is crazy, what's going on? First time is just a warning, so you need to instruct the table keeper, the bookkeeper at the start, hey, if I give this and do here, it's just a warning, okay? If it continues, usually it doesn't, but if it does, it's a red card, and that would be a point penalty. All
The
right?
bookkeeper needs to record that warning, which a lot of times is iffy.
Yeah. The yellow card is always just a warning.
A lot of times it's iffy,
Yep.
getting recorded.
It should be recorded though.
Okay, and then the delays are per set,
Do they lose the serve?
not on the warning, but on the, if there's a yellow card, no, but a red card, they would.
The red card is a point penalty. Loss
Yeah,
of
so
serve.
it goes to the
Loss of
side.
rally. Yeah.
All right, so if we have, say, two cards for delay in the first set, and they don't get another one in the fifth set, it's a restart,
And reset's a restart.
okay? That's for delays.
On delays.
For unnecessary delays, okay? Everybody good on that? What if they get a third delay in the same set?
Technical coach is leaving.
All right, you can give a second red, you can give a second red card,
Another point penalty.
okay? Or the book says if it's
Excessive.
unnecessary and kind of sporting, the coach is like, yeah, whatever, you could give a conduct card on that. But by rule, it's continuous. Any multiple is another red card. All right? Conduct, we're going to use the same cards, but this time it's going to be more like soccer. I'm going to hold the card up on this side. Number 7, conduct. I might give the mouth signal. That way the scorekeeper knows that we have a yellow card. Same thing will be on this side. All right? This is different from soccer, field hockey, and lacrosse. Yellow card is a warning. Okay, the coach can still stand. It's like the first technical in basketball.
Well, you got player and coaches, so there's a difference. Players,
Yes.
you talked about a warning on a player. But yes, if there's a warning yellow card on a coach, they can still
Let's
stand.
stay with coaches. Yeah, if you get a conduct on the coach, the yellow card, they can still stand. Okay, it's a warning. If they get a red card,
The coach.
then that's a point penalty. Now they have to sit down the rest of the match. Okay, are they ejected on a red card in volleyball?
No.
Okay, so actually you get 3.
Red, yellow together.
If we had a third conduct issue on the bench, then it would be a yellow-red. Okay, I've never seen. Okay.
That would be disqualification.
Yeah, and then the coach would have to leave. If it's a player, like Tim said with the player, sometimes the player knocks the ball away. Sometimes they come up the net and you're terrible. They'll say that through the net. You can give a conduct. They might kick the ball away. You could give a delay. You could give a conduct on that.
Let me interject on this. With boys, you're not, so as he said, you rarely see a lot of conduct stuff with girls, okay? Rarely. Not saying it doesn't happen, but you rarely see it, okay?
Now, boys.
However, with boys, you will. And what you're gonna see with boys is, that was in your face, like I just hit that ball down on your head, one of these things right here, okay? That's cardable every single time. It should be, okay?
Okay.
So,
And the other big difference, like I said, delay restarts every set. Conduct is for the whole match. So on the first point, the coach says, that's the worst call I've ever seen, you're terrible. You give a yellow card, okay? They've got that yellow card for the whole match.
if that happens, do you have to do yellow first, or can you go straight to red?
You could go straight to red.
Can you go straight to yellow, red?
If a coach does something flagrant, they pull
It's
they
really
do a Bobby Knight,
You have
throw
to
the
give it-
water cooler on the floor.
I've never given a yellow red
Chair,
to
that's what it
anybody
was.
in volleyball.
I'm giving the red.
I've given
Red?
one red and several yellows, but
Okay, if you do have an ejection, whether it's a coach or a player, you need to let Tim know, okay? Again, that's very rare. Boys, you could have some issues. All right, everybody good on that? So it's like 2 train tracks. You're using the same cards, but you need to keep them separate. We got one for
delays.
unnecessary delays, and then we have the other for conduct.
Can you do that to like parents or fam, like people in the crowd ever?
No, Zach, you're just gonna stop the match. Mr. AD, we're having a problem with the fans behind us, and you let them handle it. You might wait till they kind of get it taken care of before you restart.
Volleyball, it's gotta be really bad for a fan to do anything like that.
I've had fans removed, but you don't card the team or anything like that. All right, any questions on cards?
Okay,
We've got
so,
one-
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just for clarification, I mean, a red card is a penalty, okay?
Yes, point
But
penalty.
for
Correct.
clarification, the correct terminology is loss of rally,
Thank you.
which means that that team that was just penalized, they lost their serving privileges if they were serving. And
Okay,
if they're not serving, then it is a penalty point. And that's very important, especially for the younger officials.
depends on if they're on offense or defense.
That is correct.
Okay, well, say that last part again, if they're on offense.
Well, if they're serving,
Right.
okay, and you give them a red card, sure, it's a penalty.
Right.
But the penalty is loss of service, which the other team gets a point,
Right.
okay? And it's recorded as a penalty in the scorebook.
Like
But their
Tim
penalty is loss of service.
Okay.
One final note on that. Like Tim said, when the ball has gone past the net, your eyes are still focused on the net to watch for net fouls or illegal attack or whatever. You're also watching to make sure there's no trash talking or, every now and then somebody might reach another net and just push somebody. You never know. You're also looking for conduct.
Conduct, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yep.
All right.
Okay, so the meeting is officially adjourned. However, if I don't have all information from anyone in this room, you need to stick around. What I mean by that is you're not an arbiter, you haven't signed up for a scrimmage, you need to